name is Riley Minkoff. I'm the Legal Services and Policy Fellow and soon-to-be Community Development Specialist for the Office of Immigrant Affairs. So our team has been working so hard on Welcoming Week 2023, and we are really, really excited to kick it off and share it with all of you. So for those of you who may not have been at Welcoming Week last year, or maybe were and need a little bit of a refresher, this is the second annual Welcoming Week for the Office of Immigrant Affairs. And Welcoming Week is an event put on through Welcoming America, which is a nonprofit dedicated to uplifting and celebrating immigrant voices and stories and just people here in cities across the nation. So we're really excited to have Welcoming Week in San Diego for the second time. Yes, yay! And we have grown a lot since Welcoming Week last year, so we have an event scheduled almost every day this week, starting today through the 17th. So we hope to see all of you at other events throughout the week as well. And we really are so appreciative of all of our partners and community members who are here to celebrate our wonderful and vibrant immigrant community here in San Diego. I know a lot of us have a personal attachment to immigration or the stories of immigrants, as do I, and we are just so happy that San Diego can be such a wonderful place where we celebrate and appreciate the work that our immigrant communities do to make it this great place to live. And we also recognize, especially at the Office of Immigrant Affairs, that there's a lot more work to be done, and we are dedicated to advocating for the immigrant community in the future as well. So there will be a lot of events this week. We're having an arts and crafts event tomorrow. There'll be consular services with the Consul General of Mexico. There will be a citizenship assessment event with Alliance San Diego, health screenings with the County of San Diego, an anti-hate event with the U.S. Attorney General's office, and a lot more. So we're really excited to share all of those events with you and hopefully really get the community involved this year. So once again, thank you so much for celebrating our immigrant community today and every day, but it's really nice to take a week where we can truly appreciate all the amazing things they do to make San Diego home for all of us. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Acting Executive Director, Matthew Griffith, who also has been working tirelessly to put this event on, so let's all give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Riley. Again, Matt Griffith here, Office of Immigrant Affairs, the Acting Executive Director, and just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time. I know it's hot, but it's San Diego, and we're inside our beautiful library here in City Heights. So if I could, I would love to just give a round of applause of our library staff. Thank you guys so much. This couldn't be done without you. So as Riley mentioned, this is Welcoming Week, and in Welcoming Week, it's celebrated in communities around the globe. Welcoming Week is an annual campaign that connects neighbors of all backgrounds through community-informed activities and events. Welcoming Week is an actionable, holistic strategy that allows individuals and communities to publicly proclaim welcoming values, foster a mutual understanding between immigrants and non-immigrants, and build a deeper sense of belonging for all. More people are moving every day, and especially here in San Diego, where we already have 1.3 million constituents here in San Diego, and 1 in 4 are immigrants. So again, almost a quarter of our population are foreign-born. As the migration reshapes communities, many places are unprepared and underinvested in the work needed to create a welcoming infrastructure, and they're unsure where to start, which is why the Office of Immigrant Affairs is here. Welcome Week invites communities to take the first step towards creating an environment where everyone can truly thrive. In many ways, the initiative is an opportunity for communities to cultivate the awareness and energy that's needed to sustain year-long welcoming events. Our office, the Immigrant Affairs, and the City of San Diego believe that being welcoming is much more than being friendly, tolerant, or peaceful. To be truly welcoming, a community needs intentional, inclusive policies, practices, and norms that enable all its constituents to live, thrive, and contribute fully. Welcoming Week is one of the tools that can help us achieve this vision. During Welcoming Week, we pursue equity in our community by making translation and interpretation, health screenings, legal services, economic opportunity, and civic engagement accessible to all. And with that, I would love to just introduce our Council President Pro Tem, the People's Council Member, District 4, Monica Montgomery Steppe. Council Member.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you for the introduction and for the opportunity to be here. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon. Obviously, I don't know my left from my right. My name is Council President Pro Tem Monica Montgomery Steppe, and I represent the 4th Council District here in the city of San Diego. It really is an honor to be in City Heights today, and I would like to first acknowledge the ancestral homelands of the Kumeyaay people. We do this to pay respect to the Kumeyaay elders and recognize their continuing contributions to the life of this region. Acknowledging the truth is calling for respect for the first people on this land, which is important in Welcoming Week, and it is important every single day. Thank you to all of our residents, our friends, community leaders, and organizations for coming together for our 2nd annual Welcoming Week 2023. I want to say a special thank you to the Office of Immigrant Affairs for stepping up and actively demonstrating the importance of the diversity that shapes this city. San Diego is a proud, welcoming city, and as one of the largest border cities in the United States, it's an honor to stand for the pride and culture of all people. This week is a time when we can all participate in creating an inclusive and accepting environment that fosters a sense of community and belonging. Immigrant and refugee communities have existed here for a long time and often do not have the space and visibility to be themselves, to be seen, and to be acknowledged. But today, we are building a community relationship with each other. We must also acknowledge the experience of coming to a new city and a new environment. This can be intimidating, overwhelming, and can be a culture shock to so many. This Week and Beyond is an opportunity to make sure there's a positive first impression and a smoother transition into life as a San Diego resident. There are lots of needs when it comes to refugees and immigrants as they settle in their new lives. But I can say we have strong leadership at City Hall committed to providing a warm welcome to folks who come to call San Diego home. This has been reflected through my personal work of creating the city's first Office of Race and Equity. In its past couple years of existence, the office has already done so much to advance our goals, to learn more about how to be respectful of all people while doing all that we can to provide better experiences and resources for diverse cultures. Today, we are celebrating this year and the many years to come that will welcome the contributions, culture, arts, food, and so much more that immigrants bring to our city. With that, I wish everyone a very happy Welcoming Week. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Council President Pro Tem. And now I'd like to introduce Ross Fackrell from San Diego Jewish Family Services of San Diego.
And thank you for having me today. I had the chance to meet Mayor Gloria just last week in Barrio Logan at an unrelated event, and here I am today. So my name is Ross, and I work with Jewish Family Service San Diego. I serve as the Director of Refugee Resettlement. And, you know, I was reminded meeting with Mayor Gloria, who offered some remarks to our group that evening, that we have a consummate partner with the city of San Diego. I cannot overstate that. Because welcoming cities do not happen by accident, and they don't happen without intention. When I think about the last couple years, I'm so proud to see the Office of Immigrant Affairs come and be up and running, building on the back of a very long tradition of welcoming all types of immigrants and newcomers to our community. It's also hard to believe that it's the 2nd annual already. It's incredible. So we were talking about the question, what it means to be welcoming. It's not just based in good intentions. It's not just based in ideas and talking points. Because when we're talking about newcomers, whether they're here to work, to study, whether they're coming here as refugees, presenting themselves at our southern border and seeking protection in our country and in our community, that road, no matter how you slice it, no matter what designation or label you put on it, that journey is not a simple one, and it's never an easy one. So the question then falls back to us here in the San Diego community. How do we welcome? How do we build something that creates fundamental and structural welcoming to any person who comes in our community, looking past the labels, looking past if someone is called a refugee or an asylum seeker or whatever you have. And that's looking at things like public transportation. That's looking at housing. That's looking at if you walk out here on University Avenue, you see without any hesitation that this is one of the most diverse zip codes in the United States. I had the pleasure of working in City Heights when I first came to San Diego in 2015. I used to work with an organization called the International Rescue Committee, and I can tell you, go down University, go down Winona, go up to Orange, you'll see the evidence that the city has been a welcoming place, not just now in the last 2 years, but has a historical track record. Jewish Family Service in San Diego has been working with families for over 100 years. And make no mistake, you do not have organizations like JFS. You do not have the vibrant community-based organizations that have formed from newcomers. You don't have many of these structural and community groups without strong, intentional support coming from the city. And I have done resettlement work in other parts of this country, and I can tell you this should never be taken for granted. The last couple years have been of particular interest simply because of what's happening in the larger world community. Changes at the border, for example, but also exceptional events, once-in-a-lifetime events like the evacuation of nearly 100,000 Afghan nationals from Kabul International Airport in a 2-week period about this time 2 years ago. I'm very blessed to work for an organization that was able to help over 600 just in that first year evacuation, now over 1,000 individuals. But again, that doesn't happen by accident. In my experience living in San Diego for this time and my recent tenure as the director at JFS, I see signs every day going not just around San Diego, but also the community at large, San Diego County, and seeing the welcoming support that's found in places that are phenomenal, such as San Diego Unified School District. Big shout out to San Diego Unified, who stepped in at the height of the evacuation crisis to offer busing services when a lot of these Afghan kids needed to get to school. I could go on at great length. But our work continues in an environment that, let's be honest, never gets easier. And the work of the Office of Immigration Affairs will never be an easy lot. That said, I am constantly reminded of the promise of coming to San Diego. It is without doubt the most welcoming community that I've ever worked in for refugees, for asylum seekers, for newcomers. And although there's a lot of work to do, and there's not always a lot of people to do it, the people that do step up, many of whom are in this room today, give me a lot of confidence and give me a lot of hope. So I want to thank the City of San Diego for inviting me today to speak briefly about our work at JFS. I really expect our partnership to endure and to grow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ross. And now I'd like to bring up the Director of Library, Misty Jones. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here and to have the City Heights Weingart Library as the location for the second annual kickoff of Welcoming Week in the city of San Diego. The San Diego Public Library prides itself on being a place of inclusion where we can celebrate the culture and traditions of our entire community. Even though this is Welcoming Week, we are a resource all the time, every day of the year, for all residents, and each of our 36 library locations provides both in-person and online resources including welcoming stations, library cards, an international book collection, and materials on citizenship and learning English. We also have, as was mentioned before, a ton of programs and events scheduled throughout the month for both children and adults, such as the citizenship assessment, the anti-hate event, a refugee job fair, and several international language story times. The refugee and immigrant community enrich our cultural tapestry, bringing diverse perspectives and fostering a more vibrant and inclusive society. The San Diego Public Library is proud to be a partner with the Office of Immigrant Affairs, and to be part of a city and to play a part in reaffirming the city's commitment to creating a community where everyone can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Misty. And now I'd like to bring to the podium Andy Field, Director of Park and Recreation.
Thank you, Matt, and good afternoon, everyone. It's my distinct privilege and honor to welcome you to the City Heights Urban Village, a campus that's anchored here at the Public Library, our City Heights Swim Center, as well as the Recreation Center adjacent to it, and Rosa Parks Elementary School. Combined with all of the resources here from the San Diego Police Department and adjacent to us, the large shopping center, we're very grateful for all these services to be provided in this, one of the most diverse communities in all of San Diego. As part of our charge in managing recreation, maintenance, and other services in the park system, one of the things we take great pride in is to be able to serve you, members of the public, and to bring our services out to you. One of those ways is through Welcoming Week, and as Matt mentioned a minute ago, Welcoming Week is an opportunity for us to share what the city of San Diego offers and how we can do better at being able to reach out. And we intend to do that as we together celebrate Welcoming Week, and as Misty mentioned, continue to celebrate it throughout the entire year. We want to be known as a good employer. We want to be known as a place you can safely go and swim. See if you can come to the library and check out a book and get help after school for homework. To come to the school and be able to be welcomed and not just learn, but become part of the community. All of those opportunities are available right here in City Heights. They're available throughout the city at the numerous recreation centers, swimming pools, libraries, and community centers. And the goal is to ensure that nobody feels left out. So we're very grateful to celebrate Welcoming Week with you, and we're also grateful for the opportunities that are presented here. We do have a number of tables that are here for additional information, including our friends in the Office of Child and Youth Success with information about childcare for working families. We also have job opportunities. We have a park ranger and our volunteer office available in the back to share some of those opportunities, as well as our swim programs from our aquatics district. So we're very grateful to be here. We look forward to serving you. And with that, thank you for joining us for Welcoming Week, and we look forward to working with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. And now I'd like to bring from the Office of Race and Equity, Selena Villegas. Selena?
Hi, everybody. So my name is Selena Juliana Villegas, and I'm here representing the Department of Race and Equity at the City of San Diego. So before I get into the purpose of our department and all that jazz, I want to tell you a story. So right now, I know that you see a face and a voice on the podium, but what I just heard me do is call two of my grandparents into the room. So I'm going to tell you again that my name is Selena Juliana Villegas. Juliana comes from my nana's name, my grandmother's name, Julia, who left her home in Jalisco, a place that birthed mariachi music and tequila and found home in City Heights, San Diego. She was an orphan in Mexico and traveled here by foot at just the age of 15 years old and with a third grade education. And Villegas comes from my tata's last name, my grandfather, whose family has resided up and down the Baja California Peninsula as north as San Diego and as south as Cabo San Lucas for the last 320 years. And he has ancestral ties to the Miwok people, the original people of Central California. So what my name is expressing is that I hold the stories and the dances and the food and the language and the gifts of people, both who have found their way here and who have always been here. It also means that I hold the blood, the sweat, and the tears of people who have found their way here and who have been here. So like me, I know that many of us represent yesterday, today, and tomorrow, our parents, our grandparents, and our distant ancestors. I called my Nana this morning and asked her for permission to share her story. And she told me that being here in this country was un milagro para mí, which translates into a miracle for me. And I don't really know what the fullness of that means, but I know in part that she is likely providing a flavor to how thankful she is To have survived being on the receiving end of repulsive anti-immigrant comments, not being paid the same as others, having to work twice, if not 5 times as hard as others for the same job, and working 35 years here in this city, City Heights, as a Head Start teacher's aide, knowing very little English. I told her I was nervous to be here, and she slapped me through the phone. I told my boss, Kim Desmond, who's the chief of Race and Equity for the Department of Race and Equity, that I was nervous to be here, and she said, "You belong there." So because I know how much of a hug both the metaphorical slap and the affirmation was for me, I want to share that feeling with you all. So what I would invite you all to do right now is to pick one person in the room and tell them that you belong here. I belong here. You belong here. We all belong here. Now, what we just did was create a vibration of concentric circles where an individual message to me was shared with you, and then you shared it with each other. At the Department of Race and Equity, our purpose is to do just that. We are eager to work through the how, the when, and the why we have told folks you belong here, as individuals, as small groups, and as a collective through policies, programs, practices, and budgetary decisions. We are doing the work to address clear disparities in our city through learning and development offerings, a community equity fund, and coaching and guiding all 35 city departments on how to look at things through an equity lens. We're working with folks like Misty Jones from the library, and Andy Fields from Parks and Rec, and Matthew Griffin from the Office of Immigrant Affairs to reimagine how the city operates and can be better at making sure that I, you, and we all belong here. Our team at the Department of Race and Equity wants you to know that we would not be here if it was not for Council President Pro Tem Monica Montgomery Steppe. We will always speak her name in the origins of our office into the work. We hold Council President Pro Tem Monica Montgomery Steppe in high regard for how we got here, because the work that she has done, the gifts, the blood, sweats, and tears that she has brought into the office, and because of that, we are an official city ordinance. We look forward to advancing racial equity and undoing the inequities baked into our policies, programs, practices, and budgetary decisions, and transforming local government. I will say again, I belong here, you belong here, we all belong here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Selena, and thank you to all of our speakers. If we can just do another round of applause. Thank you all so much. So at this time, I would like to welcome everyone to our arts and crafts portion. We have our butterflies that are set up along with our welcoming notes, which will be provided to our community-based organizations such as Jewish Family Services, Catholic Charities, so that we can present these welcome notes to our new arrivals. So with that, again, I just want to say thank you all so much. We look forward to seeing you at our events. Again, we mentioned that we're doing a job fair, the first ever in the city's history, a refugee job fair that will be housed at our Central Public Library. Hey, yes, woohoo, yes. Departments that will be represented there will be our Transportation Department, Development Services Department, Library, Park and Recreation, along with Public Utilities Department, again, providing a direct access to the jobs and open vacancies that these departments have. In addition to that, we've had partnership with our Mexican Consulate Service that we're providing services on this Sunday. Welcoming notes again tomorrow at Linda Vista Library. And again, we'll be promoting this along our social media. And again, we look forward to seeing you there. So with that, thank you all for being here and enjoy Welcoming Week. Thank you.